Welcome Mountaineers, MtManMan here. This week's video is a little different than normal. I've been playing Fortnite with my buddies in squads. We got McSabin, my buddy Greg. We got Turtletrontom, who's my buddy Tom, who I've known for years. And our buddy Ron, the wild card, also known as Ballatw. But recently, Tom and Greg have been in the Cash Cup duos, and they've been progressing higher and higher scores as the weeks go by. And this week I decided to go over with my friend Tom his VoD review of his game. So we sat on Twitch, rewatched his stream, and analyzed what went wrong and what went right at certain spots. So this is a two-part video, and this first video is going to be about the wrongs they do, the lack of communication, etc., and we'll go over that in this video. But then the next video is going to be their win. And there was no discussion in between the games on how they can communicate better or anything like that, but there's a significant difference in the winning game and the losing game that we're going to go over right now. So right now I'm going to play some clips of Tom and I going over his VoD review of those games and what they need to work on as it goes. We'll have a final discussion at the end of this video. So this was just it's all Cash Cup on this video here?
Yeah,
right?
That's
you guys jumped in and just started playing?
Yep, there's like a few minute intro.
You didn't even do a warm-up?
I warmed up right before, like for 10 minutes.
Like off camera. Okay. So, you and Greg, aka McSabin.
So where's our landing?
You pick the same landing all the time. It's the crane?
Yes.
You guys call it the agency house, right?
Yes.
When you guys land there's like the designated spots for you to go, right? So like, does he always land crane and you always land house in a way? Pretty much, if you hit him.
I usually try to get downstairs. If there's a good gun floor loot, just in case somebody's coming, I'll land on that.
Alright, so this was the first game. You guys, I missed this game when you guys were playing.
Okay.
I saw you got like something like 7 points, I think, right?
I think this one, I think we got placement points, and I think I got 2 kills in this game.
Okay.
Which is 4 points, 2 points per kill. Or elimination, I'll say.
Yeah. It was crazy today. So this one was different because like the last one they did 4 points per kill. This time they're doing 2. It's still kind of high points, but honestly, like the 4 points kind of made a big deal. I feel like this probably balanced it a little better.
Yeah, I prefer this much better to what it was.
Yeah.
It was just too much. It made everybody just go crazy.
Dude. That's me. So I did come in right at this point. I came in at the first game?
I guess so.
Oh man, I didn't realize that. Okay, so you said you landed short, but honestly, in this area, if there's nobody around, it's almost not a big deal, correct?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
You guys got contended quite a bit here, though. Actually, this time around.
I feel like all except like one game. Maybe 2 we didn't. Like this one, I don't think we did until a little bit like into the game.
Yeah.
But there were people around us, not too close.
Yeah. And it looks like you guys obviously hit that house because it's closest to this truck. You hit the truck, and then now you're full health, full shield, right? This is a strat.
Truck every game.
This is a strat you and I worked on prior to this season, right?
Correct. Yeah, that was actually mainly your idea.
Yeah, because I remember seeing it, and I was like, I'm going to do this as solos, and then when we started running duos, we did this. But there's one thing you did do different. You found Jersey Shore and Rock Beach.
Okay, yeah.
All right, let's get to this little hill.
So pretty much explored that whole coastal area to try and get an idea of what's the best routes, and like try to figure out what way people rotate the least and what way people rotate the most.
One thing I noticed you do in your arena matches when you do solos is very much like storm heal.
I'm not great on mats.
Which was something I wanted to like mention. Like, you're really good at pushing. Like when you and I are just messing around in creative, you push and you're like in boxes and you're really good at it. I think it's like, I think Greg also mentions it. You kind of you underestimate your ability to do that. And I think you need to like almost think about doing that more. And I know you don't want to lose your arena points, but now that like arena points don't matter for you as much, it might be something to start practicing on. Because I feel like there's times you need to push, and if you like, don't get me wrong, you can camp and play it safe and get your points up there. But when you're up in those higher levels, like those guys know how to push. They know how to like W key. In other words, they really get their points up there through that as well. And I think that's something that you might want to personally be more confident in. Not even like work on. You're like really good at it. And I know that because I challenge you every week at least 2 or 3 times, and you just dominate, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely on my list of things to work on. I have some plans to kind of do that. Mainly, I'm going to make another account and kind of pull like a cipher and like start at like a completely different play style on my second account, where I'm just going to always rush and kind of compare my 2 play styles and see how it works.
Oh,
like
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, because honestly, like it's in this spot, I don't really know what's the better option. Like when you're trying to get points from placement and like.
Well, what I was talking to Greg a little bit after you guys finished this stream here, and I was saying like what you guys might need is like one spot that's like a rush spot, like where you W key and like you know where to go to get the loot, and it's a popular spot so you can W key easily, right?
Right. Yeah.
I also said to him he needs to get into practice modes a little more and practice the like storm fighting and all that kind of stuff too. You guys did wonderful these games though. I mean, for 2 guys that don't like practice every second of the day, you know, like a lot of the kids that are out there now, you both did a great job on this. I mean, to be like 130 points, and Greg hasn't even been playing for like 4 months?
Almost
I mean, like he's played
point.
here or there, but like he's not like he consistently playing for the past 4 to 6 months, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's about when he started. Yeah.
So
They dropped the points, I think.
you guys are doing
doing
great.
good.
Of course, there's always things to work on, and that's what the VoDs are for right here. So
Yeah, 100%.
you tend to like that storm camping. I almost think you don't care about being in the storm, so you almost forget like when the storm is on you, because you're like, oh, I'll just heal up like I always do. But like this time around, you guys didn't have the heals fast enough. I think it was ticking for like 3 or 5 or something ridiculous, or
Yeah,
2 or 5
in the game. When we fight the 2 guys in storm, and I didn't realize it was that late. In the end, we pretty much retreated here.
This wasn't a bad call because it's mid-game. You don't want to be pushing any fights right now.
Right.
Like, to get into a fight in the beginning to claim your territory, your area, to get your loot, that makes sense. Because if somebody lands with you, you can't just be like, no fighting. This was a good call on your behalf. You saying, like, these guys are at the cars, don't fight them. There's no need. They didn't come pushing you guys. They heard the explosion. You know they had to have.
Right.
They didn't want to get into a fight.
I especially didn't want to get too close to him without being able to get a lot of chip damage without a shotgun.
Yeah.
So that was a big part of it too. Who knows what they're doing?
That's a good point. I mean, yeah, you have the SMG, and you can make do with that if you had to, but you didn't want to push something you knew you weren't 100% on. But if you were being pushed, you'd have to make do with what you had, and you could do it. But there was no need to risk it for no reason.
Right.
Another thing I think you two need to work on as a team is maybe like coming up with an idea. I was saying like these early first 2 games, maybe try to get placement and just really focus on placement. The end, you know? And judge and get kills. Like don't don't not fight if they're like fighting you. Like obviously you got to get into them. If you have to run away, you have to. But like really just try to get placement and get as much points as you can with placement. Try to get that W. Try to get the third place if you could. That would be best because you get points for that. But the reason is you can always make up for pushing at the last 2 games or 3 games. So plan on just placement for the first 2 games and then judge like, well, the top leaderboards have 200 points already and we're sitting at 90. We need 100 points just to catch up to them, and we have to like surpass their next couple games. So then you might have to push and try to get high kill games, which I know isn't like common, and especially since you guys are still just like in a sense competitive beginners, it might be like a more difficult task, it seems, but like you gotta push it. Like otherwise it's like, what was the point? You know what I mean? If you just tried placement each round, you're not gonna get the top 10, you're not gonna, or 20 or whatever gets paid, and there's no reason other than you guys just tried to get placement points and the higher score than last time. Higher score is good, but wouldn't you want to get the payments? And to get payments, then you get recognized because you're in the top 20. People will go, oh, Turtletrontom, I should go check him out on Twitch. Does he have a Twitch? Yes, he does. And then now you're on the top 20 list. People are checking you out. You know what I mean? And same with Greg. And same with Greg.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think also you need distinct leaders. Greg is a pusher. Like, he wants to push fights, right? So when you guys are doing your end game and trying to get placement, you should be the one making the calls because you're a very patient person. You're willing to make those calls. And Greg should listen when you're making those calls. Like later, I think you even, this is a pretty good amount of kills you guys get in this round, in this game, right? Is this the win? You don't get the win on this one.
No, not on this one. It was either second or third round.
Yeah. So there's a point where he's looking down the barrel and he has to get into Storm, and you're still at the edge of Storm. And he goes, oh, I can take this snipe, and you're like, no, don't. But he does. Luckily, though, he hits.
Yeah.
If he didn't hit, you could have lost that fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because then he would have been noticed. Those guys might have felt more confident to push you. Now you're in a situation where you're trying to get away from the storm. He's trying to get away from the storm. And now these guys are pushing you instead of sitting there waiting for you to come to them. I think he also, what you guys got to do is count the storms. Go like, first storm, okay. Second storm, like call it out, because then you go, okay, third storm means it's ticking for 2. Means when that closes, it's going to be ticking for 5. You know, that's when you kind of can have a better understanding. Mm-hmm. So like right now it's ticking for 2. Yeah. So you guys should have been like third storm.
Oh, that was, was that 2 or was that 5?
That was 2.
I just went from 94 to 89.
Really?
Yeah.
So maybe once it closed here, it started ticking for 5.
Oh yeah, that must have been 5 after it closed. You're right.
Yeah, because you were just in it and it clicked for 2. But this was well, you guys knew these guys weren't looking good.
Yeah, they didn't.
I think you guys start lighting them up.
Yeah. See that guy right here?
And then they couldn't hit you on the way back, and I think that kind of that shook them up, because these guys aren't like, obviously you weren't going for pros here, you know. I think you even cracked this guy, right? No.
Yeah, I think he might have.
Yeah.
So I got that just in case the storm came while we were fighting him. I just lost track of time at this point. I'm just like going like, all right, let's go get him.
There's also, so this like, should we and let's do it. It was a very unsure thing. Like you weren't sure if you should go. Right. That little hesitation cost you like 5 seconds. Now 5 seconds could have got you ahead of the storm. It's almost funny to think that, but like just making the decision and sticking with it is another big thing in this game.
Yeah.
But that's why one of you guys make that decision. And whatever the decision is, you guys both respect it. And no matter how the outcome comes, it's not that person's fault. Just as the turn of the events, you know? This was a good shot. This
shot.
was a good shot, though. You still headshot the dude. Yeah.
All right, so here the watch. All right, I found the shotgun. I found
You're
the
taking for
bandage.
5 right now.
Yeah, I told him to take that medkit, but I knew I had that, so I was
He's
good.
not taking it. Yeah, he's looting.
Yeah.
And then you pick this back up instead of bandage, which screwed you over right there. Because you missed that bandage and you didn't have any more in there. Yeah, totally screwed you up. Then he bounced. He had time for the med kit when he was full.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's Greg's new. You're still. You guys are still working together. You guys haven't like you've done some competitions, but you guys don't work together too much on arenas on your own time. You know. So a lot of this comes down to like the communication between the two of you. I feel. Him being like he needs to listen because he doesn't listen, and I know that from playing squads with him too. But he's a W kid. He wants to be in the action. He has to focus on the shooting, putting a wall up, getting himself protected instead of taking shots, trying to get the kill. He gets excited for the kill. He likes that dopamine feeling. You know what I mean? Like where you get the kill and it's so exciting. Like I get it too, you know? And I fall for that all the time. But that's one of those things we have to control. We have to go, okay, I might have hit him with that shotgun, but he might have to take that. I might have to let him take that mini because I need to heal. There's a lot of thought to be had and a lot of time to and not a lot of time to put that thought into play. But that's what the practice is for. That's why you guys got to drop more arenas together so that you can get to those later games, do the plays the way you guys want to do it, you know? And I know you guys do it as much as you can. You guys got full-time jobs and, you know, you want to play squads with Ron and I. But if there's ever a day you guys, I even said this to him, if there's ever a day you guys just want to practice, I say do it, you know? Like, Ron and I can play duos by ourselves too, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's part of why I sometimes take it a little too serious in even the squad mode. Like I'm like,
because it's your practice.
I have to get my moments in. Yeah, I'm getting my real practice in while I'm getting my leisure practice because I enjoy both kinds of it.
All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed watching Tom and I review every little detail of what kind of needs to be worked on with both of them. There's a few things that we pointed out, such as their comms. A lot of times they're not listening to one another. Maybe they need to establish a leadership role, somebody who's taking charge at the moment. Hey, listen to me, we're going this way. The other side was maybe these two should be in the VODs together, reviewing each other's gameplay, seeing how each other ping off of one another. And more importantly, allowing one another to play their play style. Greg being such an aggressive player and Tom being such a passive player, they should understand there's a balance there and what they need to do. We're going to go over how they achieve that balance in the win in our next video. So stay tuned, subscribe, like, and comment down below if there's anything that we missed in the VOD that you think they should probably work on. Alright, I'll catch you later, Mountaineers.